The sun began to set, sending an explosion of orange and pink across the sky. We headed back to the center of town across a long cobblestone bridge to wait for an autobus. My feet ached. I was hungry, sweaty, and extremely cranky from walking in the blistering heat. The air was heavy with humidity, creating a force against me, slowing my pace significantly. My ears had been filled with the melodies of guitars and people speaking in rapid Spanish all day. Just like the sun, however, these sounds disappeared into the evening. Nearing the end of the bridge, the fit of self-pity I was throwing in my head was abruptly interrupted as my attention was drawn to a soft whimpering sound. The whimper spoke to me as it captured the exact tone of my mood. For a minute, I was sure the noise had slipped out of my own mouth until I noticed a little girl about my age, just feet away, being scolded by her mother. I could not understand her mother, but in recognizing the way her eyebrows furrowed and the way her tone continued to rise, I knew it wasn't good, because my parents reacted in the same way when I was in trouble. I didn't realize I'd been staring so intensely until the little girl turned on her heels, heading in my direction. Our eyes met, hers so full of tears, neither of us able to look away. Her clothes were tattered, and her blistered feet had no shoes for protection. As I stared at this little girl, I felt as though I was looking through a mirror and seeing myself in another world. We were nearly the same height, our sun-kissed skin almost the same hue, and her dark hair hung down her back just like mine. She approached my family and I holding out a tray of beautifully painted bobblehead animals and tiny packs of chiclets. In my hands, I held a bag filled with a collection of these same items. Again, language became a barrier, and we could not understand her soft-spoken words. But in watching the scene that unfolded between her and her mother, it was clear she was begging us to buy from her. I had been so focused on this little girl that I had forgotten everyone else, and when my dad's arm brushed by me as he passed her money, I jumped. He gently unfolded his hands. In them, he held 200 pesos. The little girl wiped her now wide eyes and stared at my father with an unforgettable look of gratitude. I reached into my pocket, wanting to help too, only to find it empty as I had spent all of my money on my souvenir collection. Suddenly remembering my little bag, I felt sick. What were trinkets to me were a livelihood to someone else. She timidly took the money from my dad and whispered, "Gracias, gracias." My dad nodded and she began running back to her mother. Before she had quite reached her, she turned her head back, eyes meeting mine once more, and smiled ear to ear. I answered with a smile of my own, not realizing the impact that that beautiful moment would forever have on my life.